Computer. Oh, shit, that's how you do it. Say less. Do I sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is the first episode of the best of both worlds of wrestling. Featuring myself,
Indeed.
Khalil.
I am Chris, aka Turk.
And it's WrestleMania week. Exciting for us wrestling fans.
Indeed.
The people have no idea how long it has taken us to just get this episode off the ground, which is hilarious.
Oh man, listen,
I'm
a
glad
task and a half.
I'm glad to be here. So I figured at the first episode, what better time of the year to introduce ourselves during WrestleMania week and introduce ourselves, sort of giving you an idea of what made us become wrestling fans in the beginning, and some of our favorite moments, so on and so forth. So we're gonna get into who we are. We're gonna get into WrestleMania week predictions. Obviously, by the time of this recording, we got a show in 2 days, less than 2 days will be WrestleMania essentially. So we're absolutely excited, man. How you feel?
I'm you know what? I'm very excited about the big stories.
Yes.
I'm not as invested in like most of the undercard as I was in previous years, but Sammy and KO versus Usos.
That's a big deal.
That's my money right there.
I'm into Ray and Dom, man. That's my shit.
You know what?
The Ray and Dom shit is that's my shit.
That was a slow burn with the whole
right.
Was it not Retribution? What they called?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah.
Yeah, so Dom is like mad entertaining.
He found his groove.
He's hilarious, yo. And that last scene from SmackDown, he told his mother to shut up. I was rolling on the floor. I'm like, this guy's out of control. And finally, when Ray hits him, that's the payoff. Man. I'm like, y'all did that at the right time.
Yeah. Now they know what they're doing sometimes.
They make it work. I give them that. The undercard, where the undercard falls flat for me, I'll just say this now. We get into like some of our other stuff here on our agenda, but the women's matches, I don't doubt will be good. I think they'll be great, but the stories to me are not strong enough for the women's matches. I'm not as invested as I like to be. And the tag matches don't have any stakes. So like,
yeah,
it'll be cool that, I mean, it's no problem that you want to get some of these people on the card. Y'all should say, yo, y'all win this match, y'all get a title shot next night on Raw.
Yeah. Some kind of incentive.
But it kind of could work against you in another way, because let's say Street Profits win, they're not gonna beat KO and Sammy the next night on Raw. Like, you know, like this, and they are like overdue for a run, and it kind of bites them in the ass that way. But that's how I kind of look at it. That's where the undercard falls flat for me. I think the other stuff is the Omos and Brock thing is like your spectacle match.
Yeah,
it's, you know, so that's cool.
Which is,
you know, Seth and Logan is gonna be a lot of fun. I think, you know, from an in-ring perspective, I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
I know that match is gonna be fun. I just do not care for like the Paul brothers.
No, I get that.
Like I'm not rocking with them.
I understand that.
I'll watch them.
The ultimate capitalists, the Paul brothers. I understand. No worries. So I'm gonna get into, like, you know, well, I guess our genesis. I mean, I've known Chris since high school. That's how we know each other. And wrestling fans.
You're gonna say how long ago that was, though.
No.
Now we're gonna keep that.
The salt in my beard might tell the story, but
you're gonna keep that kayfabe.
Deceived. You know what I mean? So that's where things began between us. But what's like some of your earliest memories of pro wrestling, you'd say?
Like for me, it would be, so I started watching wrestling with my dad and my brother. And by the time I was like old enough to like figure out what was going on and retain the information, Papa Shango and Bret Hart were the first two people that stood out to me, and The Undertaker. Three
Papa
people.
Shango's my dude, man.
I had nightmares about Papa Shango.
He was scary, but I thought he looked cool. But he was, yeah.
Yeah, he did look cool. I love the look, but like my first nightmare was Papa Shango like poisoning my dad and killing him.
Oh, that's nice.
The whole black, spitting up the black goo and everything. Nah. But yeah, that early, and we didn't watch week to week back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say, I guess that's what the new generation era is when I started getting into wrestling.
I think for me, my earliest memories, I would say, is like the Rockers. That's when I like Shawn Michaels, my favorite wrestler ever. And I used to think, even in the tag team, I was like, this dude is cool, man. Like, I don't know, this other dude is Marty Jannetty. That sounds horrible. But I'm like, this dude here, the girls go crazy for this guy. Like, he's cool as hell. So I've been a Shawn Michaels fan since then. Bret Hart is definitely in my earliest memories. Hulk Hogan, obviously. I'll say this from jump. I'm not, I don't think this is like a pro Hulk Hogan show with him and his antics at all. But being that we do some retrospectives, we will have to recognize contributions from time to time. But don't make no mistake, like, we're not rocking with dude. I'm not tearing off my shirt anymore, none of that type of stuff.
Yeah, we could celebrate the career and not celebrate the person.
He's there for context, and he's a big part of what we see today. I mean, so that's what it is. But certainly remember him captivating, Ultimate Warriors captivating. I was definitely afraid of the Undertaker. I don't think anyone was. I used to remember like him and like the green smoke and like that used to kill me. That I was scared of Andre the Giant.
I distinctly remember Kamala being very afraid of the Undertaker.
That shit is comedy. That shit was comedy. I was extremely afraid of Andre the Giant. I had one of my nightmares as a kid was like him chasing me in my crib. Like, he was in the basement. This dude like ran after me, and I ran up the steps. From the basement, you go up the steps to the kitchen, then through the dining room, then through the living room, then you go up the steps again to the bedroom. I jumped in my bed and I woke up. Like, I remember it vividly. I was like, yo, what the? And he was already dead by then, by the way. Like, he was already
moving that fast, though.
This is like 94 or something. He died like 93. I'm like, bruh, this dude is fast as hell for some fat dude, man. I remember that vividly. But those are some of my first memories. I think I remember like watching the barbershop thing with Beefcake and stuff early on. Like, those are some of my early memories. And maybe it was the music and the energy and the physicality, all that stuff. But I was captivated, and I used to wrestle my pillows and elbow drop like Macho Man from my pillows.
Oh, listen.
Please, like, it was.
Once the action figures started coming into play, it was
kind of tight. I got rid of my Jack's Pacific joints, man. I had a nice little collection like in junior high. But then I got to high school, I felt like I had to grow up. I got rid of all of it. I had a ring, I had a steel cage, I had a big ring too, and like, it was fly. I had garbage cans and tables. I had a nice little thing going.
I had like a generic ring. It was a Raw ring, but it was just like a regular ring. And like the first toys I got were WCW. So their first toys weren't even action figures that can move. They were just
sticks,
just figures in one pose. And I had the Steiner Brothers, Sting, Surfer Sting, and then I think that's it. And those were my first three. And then
I had a Ron Simmons. That was the only WCW toy I ever had. I had a Ron Simmons as a kid. And he had purple tights and the Jerry curl. That's all I remember. And I think I knew who he was, but like my crib, the regional way of wrestling, my crib was a WWF house. So I can remember asking my father for a magazine, and knowing that we only watched WWF in the crib, he brought home a WCW magazine. Like, I think Vader and Sting and Ric Flair was on the cover, maybe someone else. And I remember being so disappointed. I was like, what is this? Like, I was like 4. I was like, bruh, we don't watch this here. Like, what do you do? I asked for a wrestling magazine, and
You know what I think it is? Like, so we got like the Caribbean background. And TVs down there only had a certain number of channels.
Yeah.
But one network they always got was USA.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone in the Caribbean watched WWE. Everyone, Monday Night Raw, every Monday, Sunday Night Heat when that was a thing. So I think that's why when we grow up here,
yeah,
and our parents watch, they know WWE, so we grow up knowing WWE,
that's
and we
probably,
have to find other things on our own.
that's probably what it is. I remember going to Barbados as a kid, and like they were like a few months behind what was really happening. But I was like, I already saw a Raw. They were showing a Raw that was new, and I was like, I seen this shit like 3 months ago, man. But whatever, yo, it was new to them.
Listen, I
how the
watched
world works.
which WrestleMania? The one where Batista won the belt. It was Batista versus Triple H and Cena versus JBL, right?
That's the last time WrestleMania went Hollywood.
Yeah, that is. I watched that. My family's from Nevis. I watched that at my uncle's house in Nevis.
Oh, that, man.
And I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna miss WrestleMania.
No, and you compete. And you know, when you're over there, you watch it on regular TV. It's not even pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's not pay-per-view.
Bro, I
Just
used to
on
go
TV.
to Panama. I was like, yo, I'm catching all the summer pay-per-views. I'm watching Fully Loaded, Bash at the Beach. I was in Panama when the whole Jeff Jarrett, Hulk Hogan shit went out at Bash at the Beach. I watched it for free in Panama. I was like, oh, this shit is flying. And Booker T won the belt. I was hyped. They get that shit for free over there. But now the shit is $9.99. Like, it's what a time we live in, you know?
And if you're real cheap, you can still pirate it.
Yeah, if you really want to go through the trouble.
You know, we're not publicly condoning pirating, of course.
No, it's just
never will we ever.
It's reality. That's all. It's highlighting reality. You know what I mean? But I thought something that would be cool to get into also is like chronicling like what were our first live events that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you could remember. You know,
I remember because it wasn't that long ago for me.
See, for me, my first event was in the New Generation era. And so it was like, and I don't even really remember, I don't think I asked to go. Like I just I remember my aunt took me to the circus, and you know, you go into the garden in the lobby and you see like all these different people that be performing. Yeah. And I remember at that time they had pictures of like Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, well, they do that here. Like I never even understood like, oh, you can go to this thing. I didn't even think about that. And I probably did. We probably went there when I was like 6 years old. She didn't get me the tickets. My mother eventually at some point in the lead up to WrestleMania 12, got a house show tickets for like, you know how they always do their road to WrestleMania, or whatever type of thing. And so my mother, I think, thought she bought WrestleMania tickets because the shit said road to WrestleMania. So, I knew. I was watching the TV. I'm like, bro, I think that shit is gonna be in California. But you know, I said, whatever, man. If you say it's wrestling, man, we going, like, whatever. So we went to the house show. And what I remember, I have the card here, actually. But what I remember is, I definitely remember seeing the Ringmaster, which is funny in hindsight. I remember seeing
Stunning Steve.
Yeah, man. And he came out with Ted DiBiase. He had the bell. And Barry Horowitz was on the show. George the Animal Steel came out and ate the turnbuckle. And the main event was Bret Hart and Undertaker with the purple gloves and whatnot against Diesel and Shawn Michaels. As we know, WrestleMania 12 was going to have Diesel versus Undertaker. Yeah. Shawn Michaels versus Bret in the main event. So they had that tag team match. And in this match, at the end, Diesel turns on Shawn Michaels and hits him in the, and you can actually find this footage on YouTube. There's like this whole match is on YouTube without commentary, but you can find it. Hits him in the back, and I remember like reacting like, oh my, like how could you? Like I was so invested at like 7 years old. I was like, bro, they had just got cool again. They had some issues the prior year. I'm like, bro, they just got cool. And I was fucked up over it. But what I have here is Aldo Montoya beat Isaac Yankem. So I guess I saw Isaac Yankem that night.
Where's Kane? Well, Republic Kane.
I saw Justin Bradshaw defeat Avatar.
Wow. Avatar, who the hell?
Avatar was just incredible, I think, under a mask.
Oh.
I think so.
Okay.
If that wasn't Avatar, then Aldo Montoya was just incredible under a mask. One of the people was just incredible under a mask.
Okay.
So the Godwins defeat the Body Donnas.
Or the Body Donnas. That's a
yeah.
I remember them.
You know, Chris Candido and Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Yep, with Sonny.
Yeah. So I saw them. I saw Steve Austin defeated Barry Horowitz with the $1 Million Dream. Let's see what else. I guess I did see Triple H that night. Okay, so yeah, Hunter Hearst Helmsley beat Duke the Dumpster Droese in a no DQ match.
Duke the Dumpster, like if that doesn't scream new generation era.
I know.
Him and Bastion Booger.
Son, Bastion, yo, you ever seen Bastion Booger finisher?
No, what was it?
Dog, you gotta. It's so. One of my wackiest matches I love is from Survivor Series '93, and it was like Men on a Mission and the Bushwhackers, and they all had Doink stuff on, and they were facing the Head Shrinkers, Bastion Booger, and Bam Bam Bigelow, and it's just a comedy ass match. But Bastion Booger finisher basically is if you on the ground, he will stand over your neck. And he'll do this thing, like he just go side to side. You know, he's fat and he's like he's doing this weird wiggly dance, and then he'll just sit on your neck. He just plot himself, and this is the funniest, astounding thing. In that match in particular, like Head Shrinkers came, Alpha came to the ring with like turkey, like eating like savages, and they had like bananas. So they were giving Bastion Booger food. So Bastion Booger got like a whole banana on his head, and he's like trying to do his dance. It's a weird match. That finisher is hilarious. And then he tried to do it again, and then like somebody moved, like Mabel moved somebody out the way, and then the dude sat on his own feet or whatever. Bastion Booger. Madness. The rest of the card goes Goldust pin Savio Vega. I think I vaguely remember seeing Goldust that night. Ahmed Johnson pinned 1-2-3 Kid. I know I saw Jake Roberts that night. So Jake Roberts and Yokozuna with George Steele defeated British Bulldog and Owen Hart. And Jim Cornette was handcuffed at ringside.
Hart Foundation shit? Hart Foundation lost?
Well, they weren't Hart Foundation yet, but they were cool. Both of them were cool. They wasn't quite there yet. But that was my first card. I was, and I thought, at that time, I think I saw everyone that there was to see. I would say like going to a wrestling show is basically like going to a music festival. You can see many people at one place, and so I was hyped for that. But that was 1996. I think the date is March 17th, 1996. So
damn, I wish I would have gone to one as a kid.
That one was something else. That's the same era. I thought Vader. Yeah, Vader was on the show. I think I seen Vader. I thought Vader was on the show. Whatever. Nah, Vader wasn't around yet. It was too early. I haven't seen Vader.
He's probably still in Japan or WCW.
I'm probably thinking about Boy Meets World, man, because it's still the same era. He was there like the next.
Yeah. That's true.
Arena and everything.
That's true. You know what's funny? I saw Savio Vega wrestle live 2 years ago. Like he's still active.
Black don't crack. I don't know if he considers himself black, but black don't crack.
Not because he wrestles for.
He has his own promotion, right?
He has a promotion in Puerto Rico,
and
he wrestles for MLW.
Okay.
Which is like this smaller indie.
I know what
kind of like what ROH was in 02.
Right.
Or 06, I'll say. But my first show was not until let me pull this up. So I didn't go until I was already an adult.
Okay.
It was 07. So I almost revealed my age right there. We're not going to do that. It was Ring of Honor, Glory by Honor 4. No, Glory by Honor 6, night 1. They used to do back-to-back nights, Friday night and Saturday night.
Okay.
And it was at the Manhattan Center, legendary.
Yes.
Legendary Manhattan Center. Which is that what's the name of the diner by it? Is it the TikTok? No, it's not the TikTok diner, is it?
I don't remember.
There's like a diner like a block up from there.
Okay.
Before, after the show, you hang out. All the wrestlers coming in to get food, something to eat after the show. So if you want to be one of those people, those weirdos who actually, let me not teach you how to stalk wrestlers. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, shout out Rhea Ripley, man. Leave my
yeah.
girl.
Listen,
Leave my girl.
and Sonya Deville, shout out her too.
Yeah, big time. Protect yourself at all times.
Yep. So that show had Chris Hero. I don't know if anyone knows Chris Hero. If you know Chris Hero. Yes.
I dabble.
He versus El Generico.
People should know this, by the way. Like the whole idea, the title of this of our podcast is like, Chris is very adept with the indies, man. Like I'm not. I'm very much commercial. I don't watch the NCAA like that. Give me the NBA, bro. Like give me that. Chris seen these guys on the come up. I'm like, bro, I know these people by the government WWE name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, a lot of these dudes.
I ain't know nothing about Lex Luger until I seen the Narcissists. You feel me? Like I don't know nothing about you on the come up. So that's sort of the basis of our philosophy sometimes when it comes to how we look at this industry.
Yeah.
My fault, man. Go ahead.
Nah, they need to know. They need to know for context. But so
El
Chris
Generico.
Say it again?
You said El Generico was on there.
Yeah. We all know Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Or allegedly Sami Zayn. The story is El Generico died in Mexico saving orphans from a burning building. Yeah. So maybe he'll get resurrected one day. Maybe not. But that was a good match. So then it was the Hangman 3 versus Delirious and Kevin Steen, who we all know is Kevin Owens now.
Word. So you saw these guys like when they were green, man.
Green.
Yeah, wet behind the ears.
And the thing is, they were so good then. That's why they're so good now, this late in their career, because they were green, but they weren't awful.
Right.
Like, the match was still good to watch. Austin Aries, who had a brief run in NXT, I believe.
Yeah, he had a pre-show match with Neville.
Yeah,
light heavyweight joint at Mania a couple years ago. It was a good match.
But he's one of those.
Yeah, he's hard to.
It's not the talent; it's the person.
Yeah,
that keeps him from getting bookings. But that was a good match. That was a really good match. Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, we know that guy.
You know him now. If you don't know,
it's Antonio Cesaro, man.
Yes.
It's the only one I recognize, yo.
And this is so when he's bald now. Back then he was balding and just refused to shave his head. And he used to wear like a suit jacket, a shirt, and tying these crazy it had to be some Swiss shit.
He was like in these bonds and shit.
Yeah, it wasn't even because the tights were wacky in color. So it just didn't look right, but he was still amazing.
Okay.
Still, he was smaller than he was now, but still the strongest person on the roster, which is a testament to him.
Yeah.
But he fought this Japanese dude, Naomichi Marufuji.
I don't know that.
He's a Japanese legend, basically.
Okay.
But he's only wrestled on indies here in the US. He might have been on Impact once or twice, but that was when no one was really, probably only me. I was the only one watching Impact at that time.
I watched TNA back in the day, man. When they started switching channels too much, they lost me. But when they was on Spike, I was fucking with it.
Oh yeah. Then they started.
And when they was on Fox Sports Net prior to that, I think I was fucking with it. Like Team Canada, shout out Team Canada, shout out Bobby Roode. That's how I got put onto them dudes.
Listen, the weekly pay-per-view days, man. They used to do it every Wednesday.
See that? I wasn't there for that. I didn't have cable at that time, I don't think. That's why I had to watch it. But I was hearing about it. I was like, Ken Shamrock over there? What's going on? You know?
We're gonna have an episode about that. We're gonna have an episode about that. But
weekly pay-per-view era.
So it was the Briscoe brothers versus the Age of the Fall. Jimmy Jacobs and Necro Butcher. I believe Jimmy Jacobs has like a backstage role in WWE. He's like a producer or something with them now.
Okay.
The Necro Butcher, I don't know where he is. But Here's a match. Tyler Black defeats Alex Payne. Tyler Black, we all know now as the Drip God.
That's right.
Seth Rollins.
That's right.
And that was, yeah, he was still rocking the two-tone hair. He had like blonde on one side, black on the other side. And he was in like this little emo stable. Like they were the emo kids listening to Fall Out Boy and shit.
Okay. I could see that for him.
Who else? Oh, and then Misawa versus Kenta. Mitsuharu Misawa, legend, absolute legend in Japanese wrestling. Japanese strong style. Him, Kenta Kobashi, Jun Akiyama, all those early 90s Japanese wrestling clips where they look like they're really trying to snap each other's vertebrae.
Right.
He was part of that. Unfortunately, he died in the ring.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It was, I think it was a lariat or something, but it like compressed his spine and
God damn it.
So like the style he ushered in ended up being the style that ended his life and career.
You gotta be careful, man.
Crazy.
That's too strong style. It's too strong.
Yeah, but I'm glad I got to see that one match of him so I could say I saw one like Japanese great live. And he faced Kenta.
Kenta I seen on AEW. Like if it ain't on national televised, commodified shit.
So he was in NXT, but
I remember him. He had a different name, didn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
He didn't really get much burn. He got hurt real quick.
He got hurt as soon as he came in.
Yeah.
Came back a little, got hurt again. Yeah. Was gonna get called to the main roster, got hurt again.
I remember that.
And then got released out of his contract. Which sucks because the matches he could have had in WWE, like if he was there now, matches with AJ, Nakamura, those would have been incredible. Incredible. Because he still got it. Like he's healthy now, he still got it. And he is the inventor of the go to sleep.
Yes.
And he will not let you forget that. And then the main event of that match, of that show, was Takeshi Morishima. He's basically if Walter, before he lost the weight, was Japanese.
I'm a big Gunther fan.
A big dude who just hit you mad hard for no reason.
Okay.
He wrestled Bryan Danielson for the title.
You see Daniel Bryan wrestle? That's why.
That match was amazing. I believe that match was. So they have been feuding for a while. They've had, I think I've seen them fight for the title 2 times at 2 separate shows. And like the through line was Danielson was this unstoppable wrestling machine, but can never beat Morishima.
Okay.
To the point in one of their matches, Morishima brutalized him so bad he fractured Danielson's orbital socket.
Okay. That's a shoe?
I think he heard it during the match.
Okay.
And then they just reworked it as he caused the injury, just so to add more fuel to the feud. And then he finally beats him for the title. Bloody eye. It was amazing. Amazing. But yeah, ROH 07 Manhattan Center. That was my first live show.
You probably look back at that like, God, I seen some legends. That's great.
You know what the funny thing is? The second show I went to after that was TNA had a show at Webster Hall.
I'm like, where the hell you found TNA in the North? Okay.
It was the only show they've ever ran in New York, I think.
That's kind of cool.
It was in Webster Hall. And it was in a small room in Webster Hall.
Wow.
But it was a fun show. Yeah.
Yes. I see. I used to, there's a dude I went to school with that used to work with I was in college with this dude. I don't know if he's still messing with them. He was messing with House of Glory here in New York. And I always meant to, they usually have like shows out of Missouri. And I just never been. But I've been meaning to go.
Listen, that is so House of Glory. You know Amazing Red?
Yes, I've heard of him. Like I've seen
so Puerto Rican wrestler from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like was basically the innovator of the flippy style that we see. The Code Red is his move that you know how the Canadian destroys a flipping pile driver?
That shit fire though. Shout out PD Williams. Showing up
that flipping, so you know the flipping power bomb. The Code Red, Amazing Red invented that.
Okay.
But House of Glory is his promotion. It's his promotion and it's a wrestling school. It was a school I was gonna apply to before the pandemic.
A word?
Yeah.
You gonna take bumps?
Yeah, I was gonna take bumps, run the ropes. I was gonna do all that.
Yes, sir.
And then I might still, you know, the wrestlers are wrestling well into their 40s now, so I might still.
Science is in another place, is what they say.
DDP or Batista, late 30s, starting my career. But but yeah, they're based out in Queens, and they're actually getting up there. I believe Master P is an investor.
No, I think I remember him getting involved in something like that.
Yeah, he's an investor.
I heard him starting his own promotion, something like that.
Yeah, but they do some good shows now. Like they're getting up there, so they're getting more high profile wrestlers on their shows.
They've been out a minute. I remember that dude at least 10 years. Like they've been out a good minute. I remember that. Yeah.
Or Santana and Ortiz come from that school. I
like
Private Party in AEW, they come from that school. Like it's funny, New York. So there used to be not a lot of wrestlers from New York. But now we have so many wrestling schools here. It's like you got House of Glory, you still got, I think Johnny Rod's school is still open. And then
last week, I was getting my car from a garage in the city, and they were doing it was a random channel. They were doing a whole news segment on Johnny Rod's wrestling school in Staten Island. This dude is 82 years old.
It's still going.
This dude chopped one of his students. My man took that bump. He sold that bitch, bro. I was like, oh! I was like, nah, man. He teaching them right. Ain't no way that's supposed to look like that. I'm no 82-year-old. He was like, boom. My man said, bop. I was like, oh.
Listen, I think he trained half at ECW.
Yeah, I think he did. I want to say, I could be wrong. I think he trained Taz, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Taz definitely.
I know that they came out of the school.
Taz and the Dudley Boys.
Nah, he's all right.
And maybe Tommy Dreamer, because he's from Long Island.
It's quite possible. That dude's still going strong, man.
Yeah, and then now Long Island has the Creator Pro School. So that's run by the Edgeheads, Zack Ryder and
they must be out in Suffolk.
Say it again?
They must be out in Suffolk, I'm guessing. That don't sound like a Nassau thing.
Yeah, I think it's Suffolk. So MJF.
Shout out MJF, man.
Chris Statlander, so many. I don't know who in WWE went or if. I'm not sure, but basically a lot of people from like AEW and Impact now went to anyone from the NYC area. If their build is from Long Island or Queens, they probably went to that school.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. I think, last couple of things we got on this show today is definitely going to WrestleMania predictions towards the end. But what I thought would be fun to visit during this period, this season, is like some of our B-sides WrestleMania matches, like joints that we feel were good and just don't get enough shine when they highlight WrestleMania in packages and in different conversations. So I have a list of about 5 or 6 matches that I think they're just my personal faves. I'm sure you got your personal faves as well that give you a kick. Some of them over here you might be like, what the hell, but it's just sentimental to me. So I figured it'd be cool to get into that.
Let's do it.
I got one honorable mention, and it's not what anyone would expect, but it's from WrestleMania 5, and Jake the Snake fought Andre the Giant, and the whole story is that Andre the Giant is scared of snakes, essentially, right? And so much is made the year before about Andre's health, and he's slowing down, and he's in a bad way. His back is fucked up. And the funniest thing about this match is as soon as Andre see that snake, this motherfucker was out. Like he hopped out the ring so quick, he jumped over the top rope. I'm like, I thought they said this dude was hurt. This dude was out when Damian came out. It's just a funny match. Big John Studd is a special referee. It's not a quality match by any stretch.
Yeah.
But it's just it's just fun. And just to see Andre be committed to the character, like, oh shit, that's a snake. I'm out of here. Like that shit is hilarious. So anyone listening, if you've never seen that match of WrestleMania 5, you gotta check out Jake the Snake versus Andre the Giant. Short match. But I'll get into some of my faves right quick. So WrestleMania 9 gets a lot of flack. I get it. It's sentimental to me because I think it looks really cool that shit is just outside. I just think that's cool. The sunny for the majority of the show was just sunny.
Yeah, it looked amazing. It was in Vegas, right?
It was in Vegas, it was at Caesar's Palace or the Caesar's Palace parking lot. And it was just really cool looking. I thought, and it would have been even cooler, honestly, if Hogan didn't win the belt at the end, because it really was a clear transition. Hogan was really in the mid card. It was him and Beefcake against Money Inc. for the tag titles. And it was like, when you watch the show, it's like, you know what? Maybe this is the time that you belong here, man. The people still went crazy. You got your pop. All right, cool. Like it was definitely a time for like fresh faces. It was Scott Hall's first WrestleMania. It was Bob Backlund was in that WrestleMania. Like it's just such a mix. Doink the Clown got a match against Crush, it's just cool. But the match I'm choosing from that card, that's one of my favorites, is the Head Shrinkers versus the Steiner Brothers, which it was just a very, what you would expect, hard hitting, just match. I think the Head Shrinkers will get enough love, in my opinion. Everyone loves Rikishi. I've been on this dude since Head Shrinkers. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
and I thought
not skinny, but smaller,
but I thought they were like so good. I knew they were bad guys, but I believed in them, and I fucked with them. And there's a bump in this match. I think that's why I made my list, where Samu, I think, basically picks up Scott Steiner sort of like in a flapjack type of thing. And he just shoots in the middle of the ring and he backs all the way to the rope behind him and just drops Scott Steiner out the ring. Like it looks so crazy. Like he just goes splat. So he takes him, and I feel like he really hurt himself. I don't know, but it was just a wild bump. And you get to see the Frankenstein. But I think that's one of the best matches on that card. That's one of my B-side favorites.
The Steiners need more love. I respect them. I feel like they need more love because their matches they hold up to this day.
They're amazing.
To this day, like some matches you watch and it's like dated. No, their matches still hold up today.
Frankensteiner and them suplexes, they were a good time. Top rope bulldogs, yeah, man, they were all right, man. Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho for WrestleMania 19, which is still probably in my top 5 WrestleManias. I think it's a great WrestleMania 19. That match was just Shawn Michaels, like I said earlier, my favorite wrestler ever.
Yeah.
Jericho to me was like, I always say, like, he gave me my Shawn Michaels fix when Shawn Michaels was gone. And this was Shawn Michaels' first WrestleMania back. It was just a fun match. It was a good story. And it just flows. It was just very engaging.
This is the one where Shawn's wife gets punched?
No. That was later. Because that's when Jericho cut his hair.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So at this point, Jericho had the funny goatee and that type of thing. Man.
Oh, yeah. So that match was going to be on my list, too. Until I saw yours, and I was like, I got to take it off.
There's a spot, a lot is made of like the WWE and their like camera work. There's a spot where like Jericho's like getting up and you don't see Shawn Michaels in the frame. And then all of a sudden, wow, he was switching, like his foot just come out nowhere in the camera and knocks him the fuck out. I was like, oh, nah.
I love those. I love like that kind of frame.
Sometimes they just really be on. Other times they'll miss Edge's spear in the Royal Rumble. Other times they're very on point. Most times they're very on point. I'll be very complimentary.
And the cuts things are like recent memories. So I would think back then when that match was happening, the camera, it was normal. Yeah, Kevin Dunn, I know what tweak off in his head, but it didn't tweak off yet.
No, that's definitely a newer type thing. I love Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 8. I love the antics in that, Piper having to be a baby face, but still doing his little heel things here and there. Like there's a spot in there where like he, they used to do this thing back then. They'll like hold the rope open for you to show that they cool with you.
Yeah.
So we told Bret, yeah, come on in, man. I ain't gonna let the rope go and hit you in the nuts. Like, come on in.
Oh yeah, no.
No, he didn't. He let him come in, right? So Bret comes in and it's like, oh, everything's cool. He's like, yeah, man. Then Piper goes, hey man, your shoes are tied, man. So then Bret's like, oh, let me go tie my shoe. And then Piper goes, bah!
Listen, Piper,
hilarious, yo. Like that dude is a clown, man.
And Bret is like one of the best to work off of. Like as a straight man, to Piper's antics, I know that should just work so well.
That should have me dying. To this day, when I was like watching these matches over, like putting together this list, I'm like, bro, this shit here is comedy. And just playing with the crowd. There's another part in that match where like he has the bell in his hand. People used to fuck with the ring bells back then. And he's like, I'm gonna hit him. And the crowd's like, no. Like, I'm gonna hit him. And then he goes, he just throws it away. Like, he's not gonna hit him with the bell. I guess it's just funny to watch, man. How they would just play with the crowd. I think Rock Austin 3 from WrestleMania 19 is on this list also. I couldn't make this list without that. It's my favorite match of their trilogy. And
that was a good one. That was a good one.
I just they keep saying like, oh, if he was healthier, the match could have been better. Bro, that match is fire. Just the antics, Hollywood Rock having the space on WrestleMania. Like, there's no better version of the Rock, in my opinion, than Hollywood Rock. I wish he took that back. That shit was comedy, and it really felt like he earned that win. So I gotta give that love.
Yeah. Especially, I think that might be my favorite too. I think the WrestleMania 17 match is a lot of people's favorites just because it was
the peak of the business.
Yeah, and it was just a bigger spectacle. The double turn, this, that, and they're like, it was just so much going on. But that match and seeing The Rock finally get the win.
I was dying for that dude to get a win, man. Like, jeez Louise. My last two matches are Undertaker matches. I'm gonna go with this one first. I'm gonna just say Taker versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 21, the one you watched in Nevis.
Yes.
That was like, to me, the begin. Well, I can't say that because Taker had began having more competitive WrestleMania matches a couple years before that. But this match was the first one I felt maybe since. Yeah, this was the first match in a while where I felt like, oh man, he might lose. Like Randy Orton like put up a pretty solid fight. And of course they got that spot where he turned the chokeslam into the RKO.
Listen.
And I'm just, that was just the first time watching that. You can't beat the first time you watch it. And I watched that shit live, and I was like, yo, that's not bad. Randy Orton got some really early career bangers that I fuck with. The joint that he got with Mick Foley was fly also. Maybe a year after that, but I really enjoyed that.
That was on.
It was like an Unforgiven or a Backlash or one of them things.
Yeah,
they had like it was like thumbtacks and the whole thing.
This is that legend.
We could get a Randy Orton another day. That dude, he earned his keep, yo. He earned his keep. My final one would be Punk versus Taker at WrestleMania 29. That's the last really good Undertaker match. And thanks to Punk and his antics, that dude get a lot of flack these days.
Yeah,
I get it, but my God, the way that the stars aligned. Unfortunately, Paul Bearer died, but then Punk turned the volume up on that shit.
Oh, listen,
that became the biggest dick that there is, and it just helped. He was antagonistic that whole match, and it was fun. Like, I really hope, when he looks back at his career eventually, I hope he really enjoyed some of that, because I loved it. That match I could watch any day of the week.
Yeah,
you can elicit the same feeling out of me anytime I watch. I'm like,
was Undertaker saying he loved that match too?
I don't know, but I hope he does. I hope he loves it.
I feel like I heard him say or read somewhere that he said that.
That is one of the most coolest, just the way that whole story panned out. That was good stuff. And I don't think I got some decent matches after that. I thought his Bray match was cool. the joint with AJ Styles and the theatric shit. That was cool. But that was that was like the last good one. I like WrestleMania 30 because he gave us the little Ministry of Darkness goatee. That's my favorite version of Undertaker. But that as a match, oh nah, that was the one. 29 is like that was peak late career Undertaker. That shit was fire. Those are some of my B-sides. I mean, we all could probably went longer with that, but I had to truncate it somehow.
Oh yeah. So I will pick up kind of where you left off. Well, first let me give you my honorable mention. My honorable mention is Mickey versus Trish.
Oh, that's good.
At 22.
That's great.
And it's an honorable mention because I don't think it's underrated as a match. I think people always speak highly of that match, and it's one of the best women's matches. But that match was just like before then, I can't remember the last WWE women's match that had A+ storytelling, A+ ring work.
Yeah.
Just like perfect match all around. From the build with Mickey being the stalker to, the now edited it out vagina grab.
Hey, man.
Everything about that match was perfect. It being in Chicago, so the crowd cheering for Mickey the entire time and booing Trish. And JR trying to justify it. Oh, these Chicago fans. Love it. That's my honorable mention. But my first match is going to be, so we have another match that we share. Undertaker Orton from Mania 21. Love, love, love that match. Although it's not my favorite Undertaker Orton match, their Hell in a Cell is my favorite.
Yeah, that shit's stupid.
I love that. That's my favorite.
That was good stuff.
With the cast, everything. Bob Orton still being around.
I love the callbacks. It's important for the longtime fans to have the callbacks, man.
Yes.
And for the commentators to recognize it. So it's important that JR could be there, like he understands the significance of this cat.
Yep.
Sell that shit to the moon. So it helps to have people like that around to educate the younger view. You know what I mean?
Definitely. But yeah, that 21 match was most of my matches are from 21.
Okay.
If you want to know what my favorite WrestleMania is.
There's some definitely heat on it.
The second match I have is from WrestleMania 2000.
Okay.
It's the triple threat Euro Intercontinental title. So it's Jericho, Angle, Benoit triple threat match.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if it was
Angle leaves with nothing is what I remember.
Was it 2 out of 3 falls? I think it was like the first fall.
Yeah, first fall would be like one person gets one belt.
And the second fall would be whoever got the other belt.
I think the first fall was for Intercontinental and the second was for the European. I think that's how it went.
Yeah.
And I remember Angle didn't leave enough. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
That match was like basically 3 of the top workers in the company at that time. Jericho and Benoit coming over from WCW, Angle being like I still think maybe to this day, the quickest transition, him and Brock, the quickest transition from like their amateur sports to pro wrestling. Like those two, like they were good from jump.
Yeah.
They were good from jump. Like Angle
Ronda was on that track and then she fell off, man. But Ronda was on that track and then she fell off.
Because I don't think I feel like at that point it was a money grab for her. It was always like a bucket, always like did we get this off my checklist type of thing.
Could be. The career, combat career is over. So
that
makes sense.
But that triple threat match, amazing. Then I have from WrestleMania 17, Angle versus Benoit on that card.
Was that a submission match, or did they have a submission match at the Rumble? It was a straight up match?
The submission match was at the Rumble, I believe.
Okay.
This match was like as soon as the bell rung, they went 100 miles an hour. It was balls to the wall, high level, amateur, Dynamite Kid type shit just from jump. And it doesn't slow down.
Okay. I remember this match. I gotta rewatch that. But I do remember like high energy.
Yeah, those two together were Angle and Benoit. Like, we know Benoit did what he did.
Sure. We understand, and it bears mentioning that we recognize that.
Yeah,
but it can't change the fact of what we've seen in our life, and it already has its effect. So I understand it.
Like his matches with Kurt Angle, I think those might be the best matches of Benoit's career in ring wise, because he has someone who can match him
and his intensity.
Exactly, like not just his ability, the intensity was able to be matched. That's just what made that just that stick out for me.
That's a good one. And you know, no one is ever going to highlight that one out for obvious reasons. So that's not a one to bring up. That's not a one to bring up. They ain't gonna get shot the other way. I understand.
And I just want people to know, I may low key be a hashtag work rate guy. Okay. Right? But the next one I have, the next two are from Mania 21. Eddie versus Ray.
Yeah, that's the opener, right?
Yes.
That was great.
Eddie and Ray were tag team champions together.
Yeah.
And it was I think it was Eddie had never beaten Ray in WWE. He wants to do that. So that match is so good. I think it's better it might be do I want to say it's better than their Halloween Havoc match? Because their styles are different in each match.
Well, Eddie's big.
I think Ray had already
at that time. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because Ray was wearing the baggy pants by then, and he was wearing those big pants to cover up the knee braces.
That had to be why, yo.
Yeah, and Eddie's style wasn't.
Eddie was
bulkier.
Yeah,
so he wasn't wrestling the same style he was in like late '90s WCW, but that match is just like those two can wrestle each other 1,000 times.
This is true.
And 1,000 times out of 1,000, it'll be a great match. They just know each other so well. It's up there. Ray wins that match, by the way.
Yeah, continue the whole
spoiler alert.
Right.
The other match from Mania 21 I have is Kurt versus Shawn.
Oh well, come on then.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that at all.
Listen.
I ain't mad at that at all.
Because now I wonder, is that really underrated? I know people. I know people talk about it a lot, though.
This is the deal. I think it was spoken about more in the years following it, but nearer to that time. But because we are WrestleMania 39, so that match is 18 years ago now. So like, as the further away we've gotten, the less you've heard it talked about. But it's like, and to your point with that match, that also had a fun build. We got to see Sherry one last time for real, like be involved on something. You know, and people got to get schooled on like that was the original shorty on the song, which the original version of that song is fire with the chick singing it.
Mm-hmm.
It made all the sense in the world. Like so it was a great callback. It was really good. Obviously Kurt Angle and his comedy.
Yeah.
So that was perfect.
They
had Marty Jannetty came back and he beat up Marty Jannetty, and like it was a good build, man.
Was that the feud where we had like Kurt Angle's brother imitating him during certain parts?
I don't think so. They did that with Brock, I feel like.
With Brock?
19, okay. He was in the corner acting like he was Kurt Angle, and then they turned him around and it wasn't him, it was his brother, and then he beat him up. But this is when they had Sexy Kurt and he was doing that stuff, and
just a sexy Kurt. Sexy Kurt. Make your ankle hurt. Oh man.
They're doing the dancing. That stuff was so entertaining.
That's why Angle's in my top 10. Because he could do serious intense, wrestler, and goofy off the wall comedy.
Snap of a finger.
Yep.
I'm so glad I got to come up during his time. Real. Now that was a good match, and I feel like they had a match after that at Vengeance or something like that, and then Shawn Michaels won that one, but he would never win the WrestleMania one. Like I remember, he beat John Cena in a non-title match on Raw after they 23 match.
Oh, listen.
You know, and I think the rest of the hour.
That match on my list.
That shit was fire. Oh, the WrestleMania 23 with Cena.
Yeah.
That was a good match, man. There's a lot of matches you could have put on your B side. That's a great match.
All right, so the last one I have is from Mania 22 again. Edge versus Foley.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's
the most perfect hardcore match you'll ever see.
Rated R superstar Edge. Foley having a nice little run there because I believe that was a time I think later that summer is when he wrestled Orton at
No, that was before.
It was before?
Yeah, because that Orton match came after WrestleMania 20.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
So it was like that was in that year prior to that. What he did after that was they did One Night Stand #2, and he got
Edge versus Tommy and Tommy
Funk. Yeah. And they did that madness, which was a car crash of a match.
Yeah.
Terry Funk hair was caught up in barbed wire. I don't know what's up with these guys, man.
Nah, but that
means for art and entertainment. I appreciate.
Listen, that iconic spot, the spear through the flaming table, Edge's face after, like on the floor, convulsing like that,
and then crawling to pin him.
Yes.
And like and he really looks fucked up. If we look at him, like his eyes are bloodshot. Like he got fucked up. Like, and I don't think like Lita is selling it too. And I don't think she's like really selling it. I think she's really like, God, wow, like
that was crazy.
You know, even she got hit with the barbed wire too. She had got some blood on her. Like that's a fire match. 22 is an underrated WrestleMania. It's basic in a lot of ways, but there's some stuff on there.
It is.
Vince against Shawn was ridiculous. I ain't never seen a ladder that tall. For somebody that said I ain't jumping off ladders no more. Get out of here.
You gotta get it.
That was ridiculous. So that's a great list.
Yeah.
That's a great list.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. We
like ranking WrestleMania one of these days.
I think that's a tall task. I think that'd be cool to go and try going into WrestleMania 40. The fact that shit about to be around for 40 years is like madness to me.
That's crazy. And he's still doing it though. He's still doing it.
I don't know if this. Let me see if I don't know if this is the most updated list that I have here. It might be. We could roll with it. Matter of fact, let me see if we got if the WWE posted the nights that the actual list of the main events and whatnot.
Oh, I took the
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Night 1 and night 2.
Yeah. So what we could do, we could run through our predictions for this weekend.
I took a picture of the screen while watching First Take, so I could have a little frame of reference.
I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'll probably order some pizza and pick up some brews and check out night 1. ESPN has John Cena and Theory headlining. And I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking, honestly. I actually, before we got on the air, like, what's the idea behind John Cena and Theory headlining? And now it's kind of apparent to me that because it looks like this, for the casual person, they would not really know the Usos and KO or whatever. But if you put, John Cena's headline Saturday, it's a marketing thing. And it's unfortunate because it doesn't really reward, I'm not even talking about the talent, but just the viewer who watches. It doesn't reward putting that story in a certain spot. You think it deserves to be in. There was a lot of talk about Rhea and Charlotte going on last, and I didn't think that would have been the move either. I love both of them as performers. I just don't think they have I don't think they got the story this year for it. They got a story. I don't know if it's a headline story.
I feel like it's tough when it's like, it'd be one thing if they were like slow burning the feud before the Rumble. Rhea winning the Rumbles will amp it up.
Right.
They had no interaction before the Rumble, and now Rhea wins it. She has to challenge someone.
Right.
So, and you got to sell a match. So you got to do as much as you can between the Rumble and Mania to make the match a big deal. But It's, I mean,
what would help that match, honestly, and not, kind of piggyback on that Piper match with Brett. What they got to do a little bit more of, which I would appreciate, do a couple interviews, pre-match interviews, man. Like, I felt like if you watch WrestleMania 8 and you watch that interview right before the Piper Bret Hart match, the both of them have a interview face to face with Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
And it basically sells the match. I don't know if they really had much interaction before that on the TVs leading up to it. I think that might have been their first like selling the match. And Piper goes on about how he knows Bret Hart family since he was young and yada yada yada. And he talking some shit. And Bret Hart's like, I ain't fuck with all that. And they get a little scuffle, and he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass out there. Like, it was cool, it was entertaining, and it instantly got you interested, like, oh man, I kind of want to see y'all fight now. I think it would help. I don't think they have to do it specifically that way, but they both need like some promos or something that day of, even if it's on the pre-show, just to add a little bit of sizzle to this thing, or maybe have some sort of thing happen in the pre-show. They can add it to a video package later that night, just to add a little intrigue. But the match itself would be fine. But we could go. I'm gonna start with the first match you got here. They got this is what they call the tag team showcase, WrestleMania showcase match.
Hey, we just gotta get some niggas on the show.
Straight up. I was hoping they wasn't gonna go that route this year and just keep it like real, but trim the fat. But I'm not, the teams involved. I'm not really a big on Braun Strowman and Ricochet together. People seem to like it though. But really, the Profits at Alpha Academy, they're there every week. I'm not mad at them being on the show necessarily. But the issue that none of these people have stories. That's all. There's no story involved.
I think it's like they're on TV every week, so it'll be weird if they're not on WrestleMania. So let's just throw them on WrestleMania.
Which is why we better see Bobby Lashley somehow. That's all I got. My Panamanian brother. But I think the Street Profits win this, and I also think there's some shit gonna happen with Alpha Academy and Otis. And Otis gonna get distracted or something like that, and they're gonna get the male model thing. They're gonna do that shit and throw them in there. They should.
Male models.
They should do that. That's what I think they should do.
Yeah, but wait, I mean, the thing with the Street Profits is it felt like they were setting up Montez for a big singles run.
They flirt with you, man. They flirt with it. It seems.
Yeah.
They flirt with dissension between the both of them. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess you gotta wait till after Mania to see how the main event scene looks in the upper mid card. You see slot Montez, who's his first feud, where's the trajectory gonna go? Because Montez got it.
And not for nothing, man. Dawkins is doing the damn thing. I'm enjoying the work.
He has improved.
He's good, man. And the both of them have worked on their bodies and like
because I remember
to like have some singles matches.
Listen, before he got with Montez, I think Angelo had like 4 different tag team partners in NXT because it just wasn't clicking.
Yeah, it works with them though.
So he's been grinding. He's been grinding.
And if they ever break up, they could always revisit it, man. We done seen the Outlaws break up and get back. Like
it's wrestling. It's what we do.
They could get back. I'm not really.
Break up the tag team, blood feud, heartwarming reunion a couple years later.
That's how it goes. We've seen the biggest of them fall, man. Who you taking that match?
I'm gonna go with. Part of me sees Braun Strowman and Ricochet winning.
Okay.
Only because they have the Alpha Academy don't need to win since they have their own thing going.
They do.
The Street Profits don't need to win since they're basically the second winningest tag team after the Usos.
They are.
I'm not interested in the Viking Raiders at all.
I like their work. I don't like their gimmick too much.
Yeah, they can work, but it's just.
I like their work. They got to figure out
it's about those Viking like weird gimmicks. They just don't like because there's other out of place, out of time gimmicks that can work now. Like when they had the Vault villains in NXT, that worked.
That was good stuff. It was different.
Like the Viking Raiders and before them, the Ascension. Like
the Ascension was cool, and then they made it whack.
Yeah, for some reason it just doesn't like they like when they hit the main roster, it gets
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it gets
It's
cartoonish because it doesn't get
it's
cartoonish
caricature.
really.
Caricature.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. It's like
it's
now you're playing this thing. Like it's not
yeah.
I get it.
You want things like, oh, I'm a Viking because that's my lifestyle, and
Like, nah, so you are not roasting your beef on a campfire. I know you're not.
exactly.
They got listed, they got match 2, assuming this is the order they're gonna go with on Saturday. This is one of my main events. This is Ray versus Dominic, with probably aside from the bloodline storyline, the best built feud the whole fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Father versus son. I kind of think Dominic goes over. What do you think?
I can see that because I can see Ray being willing to put his son over.
It will be obviously it won't be fair and square. Like it's my
But
man
then
Damian
like,
Priest will get involved or something like that. But
yeah, because the thing with it is Dominic is not in ring level wise at a level yet where he can
it's not believable.
believably beat
Yes,
a Hall of Fame.
because he can
Hall
watch.
of Fame where Ray still got it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Ray still got it.
he's not washed at all. So
Exactly.
he's not
So
washed at all.
they're gonna have to play the emotional angle and the psychological angle to if Dom's gonna win.
That's fair.
Like Ray couldn't, it's his son at the end of the day, he couldn't, put the nail in the coffin because he loved him so much. Like it wasn't about beating you, it was about getting you to change and getting you to stop. And
However they go with this is gonna be very interesting.
yeah.
But I'm so invested in that shit. And the fact that they already had the moms on TV, like they all gonna be there. And I'm hoping low key because everyone has separate matches in the Judgment Day except Damian Priest. I hope we get to hear that damn theme song and get a little Judgment Day entrance between Ray and Dominic and Priest. I need to hear that song in that arena.
Yeah.
When people going stupid. I do not need Dominic Mysterio theme song for that shit. Not even the screwed version. I want what's the Alter Bridge? I want Alter Bridge. I want that theme. That's what I'm trying to hear at WrestleMania, man. That's all I need. I don't know what theme the demon gonna have. So it's up to Dom and Damian Priest. Third match is Seth
Oh wait,
Rollins.
one more thing.
Huh?
Do you think they'll try and do some match building during Ray's Hall of Fame speech?
Yes. Yes, because they've been doing these Hall of Fames in recent years, like after SmackDown, like they've been doing the stages, the ring. So like it kind of feels like it's fitting for something like that to happen in that arena setting with the ring set up and stuff. So like I think they will, yo. I think they will, and I think it'll be welcomed. I think it'll add a twist to this Hall of Fame is nice, but it's not. It doesn't have real intrigue. There's like several. There's 3 posthumous inductees. If I'm not mistaken. Tim White. It's Andy Kaufman, and I feel like there's someone else I'm missing.
Who's inducted this year? Is it the Bellas? No, they already inducted.
It's Stacy Keibler, it's Rey Mysterio, it's Great Muta, right? You got those 3 who are living, and I think you have those other 2 who are posthumous. It might be one more posthumous I'm not remembering, but it's definitely those folks. So you need a little something during the show to kind of make it more interesting. Stacy Keibler's legacy, she has a legacy, but it's not an in-ring legacy too much. And so we respecting her contributions for the time she was there. And
I mean, if you're gonna call a spade, they're like running thin on women to induct.
I don't think so. They does not. People got to agree to it. Look, Jazz need to be up in that shit. I don't know why she's not up in there.
I think
Jazz to be in there. Sable need to be in there long time.
See, that's the thing.
They got people.
I never understood how Sable hasn't been. It's like
Sable is the biggest star there. Like they was like, oh, women don't have matches. And I'm like, bro, Sable had like 3 straight WrestleMania matches in the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
or at least 2. She was at 12. but she was involved in online. She was at 14 in a great match in the mixed tag. She was at 15, right? And those are like competitive matches. Like she fought Tori, I think, at 15 for the women's championship. She was the women's champion at WrestleMania 15 in 1999, peak Attitude Era. I know people don't like WrestleMania 15 like that, but peak Attitude Era. You know, she even had a match at WrestleMania 20. I mean, now that she was stripping down at that one, but I mean, I there's definitely, you could definitely put her in there. You know, and Jazz is overdue, in my opinion.
100% overdue.
You know, so there's people that they could do. I mean, I don't think you can induct several women a year. You will run then, you know, but you definitely can stretch it out.
I know she has issues with Vince personally.
And
that's why she hasn't really made any appearances despite being married to Brock for so long.
Yeah, but them bills getting paid, so people sell out for them bills.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real life.
They got the money.
Yeah.
Brock, they living in the wilderness. So I think Brock's been stacking that money.
Absolutely.
But I think that has to be, because like she's a no-brainer.
It's egregious.
Jacqueline's a no-brainer.
Oh, Jacqueline's in it.
Jacqueline's in it. Luna's in it.
Luna's in, but Luna winning after she died.
Yeah. But those were like Sable's biggest feuds were Jacqueline, Luna, Tori. Those three are in the whole.
Tori wasn't around long enough, but yeah.
Sable's not.
Yeah.
So it has to be that she doesn't want to
be involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully she
would have been different with the whole Vince not really being around fiasco, but then he's back. You know, eventually. But so I think I really think that has to be a thing.
Say less. So then probably what you're looking forward to most is Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins.
I love you, Seth. You my guy. But Logan Paul, here's the thing. I know the match is going to be fun. Logan Paul's another one who surprisingly took to this like a fish to water.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so it's just
he could use some better promo work, man. Like putting together a promo, because he could be an amazing bad guy, but he's not.
Yeah,
like, saying something the other night about you guys don't care, huh? I'm like, nah, don't talk like that.
Like he's
you're not even concerned with the fact that we don't like you, man. This laying the fact that I don't want to be liked, like just but so he could work on that.
Yeah, like he did a good job trolling. Like he took Hangman's finisher as his own.
But that shit is fire though. When he do it, everyone says it, and it's kind of fucked up. I know Hangman got to hear it here. That Larry that Logan Paul do is crisp as a motherfucker.
Yeah,
it is crisp.
Yeah. He's the only one I've seen other than Hangman pull it off properly.
Yeah, with the timing and all.
Yeah, but that was a smart play by him. Because he knew that the internet would be talking about that shit. He knew
that part. I think Seth goes over. I think
he has to.
He needs a win.
He has to. He lost to Cody last year. Give him his win this year.
In a false finish fest, you will call that. We're gonna trademark that name right there, because there's so many matches. We'll get into that in other episodes, man. But that was a false finish fest. I enjoyed that match, but goddamn, it's a false finish fest.
I could without false finishes anymore at all of wrestling. It's been done to death for the last 10, 15 years.
It's bugged out, man. Like I'm like, yo, that first finish hits, I'll be like, nah, too early.
Yeah, because it's
too early.
Like it's at the point where it's more shocking the first finisher hits.
Right.
And someone
and I actually like that when it happens. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what can I say, man? What can I say? And the new fans have been conditioned for it, so that's why we still have it.
Yeah,
because like it's the
culture. Like it's not a new thing.
No, like, we used to use that sporadically.
It used to be used for like every other main event, or like if it's a big feud
or a big show.
Yeah, but now it's just like every other match.
Now you see that show on Monday Night Raw, man. Like it's not a game. Becky, Lita, and Trish versus Damage Control. I am glad to see Trish back out there. I'm glad to see Lita back out there. I thought that I think Becky had a match with Lita at one of those Saudi shows, and I thought it was probably one of Lita's best matches ever. There's moments where she might seem a little off, like coordination wise. Yeah. But I'm hoping like everybody shook everything off for WrestleMania. I think it'll be a good show. I'm not really into Damage Control. I love Bayley, and I love Bayley's behind. And but she's a great character. She's a great worker, and I don't not like the other chicks. It's just I don't really, that group to me is not defined enough for me.
Who else is
Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Yeah, and I'm just not, I don't know who needs the win out of the both teams. I don't know. I don't think Damage Control is, I don't know. If they have plans to keep them together, I think they win. But if they don't plan to keep them together, I think Trish and Lita and Becky win. There's also people think that Trish is gonna turn on Becky somehow to set up like a match, like at SummerSlam maybe or something like that. And Trish as a heel is good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
I'd like to see Bayley back
as a single
title picture.
Yeah.
At least floating around it.
Good in that regard.
Io is good. It's just WWE does not know what to do with Asian women sometimes.
Well, WWE is predicated on story, and a big part of that is promo. So when there's language barrier, they have a tough time with it.
And it's like not everyone, like Asuka can get over because Asuka has great character work. So she doesn't really need promos, even though she can.
She's charismatic.
Yes, great character work.
During the pandemic Thunderdome era, her antics, like her matches were some of the best things to watch because she was yelling and acting crazy and like.
Oh, listen,
she understood.
Like her generation, I don't know if they still do it, but her generation, like Japanese women's wrestlers, you didn't start off as a wrestler. You had to do, right? Yeah, you had to do like pop star stuff, modeling, acting. So they put you through basically a boot camp of all aspects of entertainment, and then you start and while you're in wrestling school, and then you start once they see you're honed in enough, then they start putting you on shows. That's why you can go, like if you could Google a lot of these wrestlers like Sheeta, Asuka. You could find like old modeling pics and like them having songs and stuff like that because it's just Japan is real odd.
Yeah, they normal than they own mine, you know what I mean? But
with this Japanese idol shit, like you had to be
like K-pop, yo.
Yeah, crazy. But I think that's why Asuka is so good. She has all those other things going. Like she's acted, she's modeled, she's been on stages in front of crowds, not just in a wrestling aspect, but in an entertaining aspect. So she gets it.
That makes sense.
So a lot of newer girls, they're just wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing matches.
But that's the technique, right? That makes sense. So who you think goes over in that match?
I think Becky, Lita, and Trish.
Becky, Lita, Trish. Okay.
Because I'm trying to think. Theory wins, I believe. So
you gotta win, man.
The make the fans happy matches, I think that's one. So Becky Lynch and Lita win to make the fans happy. The faces win. Boom. Especially when two of the faces are legends.
Right.
And a legend in the making in Becky.
Yeah, Becky's doing the damn thing, man. She's in a good groove.
And she lost at WrestleMania last year, right?
Yeah.
So
and I'm gonna say this, man. Bianca's had some great dance partners at Mania. She's great. Don't get me. I'm not nothing away from her, and I'm just saying like that match she had with Becky was so damn good at WrestleMania. Yeah. It was so good. I was so happy that for the both of them. That was just a good match. the next matchup here is in my opinion, the main event of the night. Usos versus Sammy and KO.
Yes.
Sammy and KO gotta win. I mean, this is the given. That place will riot if that don't happen. So that's my choice with that. I think Sammy and KO win that shit.
Yes. Like, I'm in a mindset, like, we've been watching wrestling for so long. Not everything new is under the sun. Wrestling can be predictable.
Yep.
You can watch the story beats and say they have to win this feud. That doesn't make it any less compelling.
Oh yeah, take me on the ride, man. Yeah.
Sammy and KO have to win this match. And if they win this match, it's not gonna be like, I knew they were gonna win. It's gonna be like
they're gonna throw a bone in there that's gonna make you go, wait a minute, and make you think it's not gonna happen. Like, and that's the beauty of it. Like, if you could get me to for a second think, like, wait a minute, it was worth everything.
Yeah.
You know, even if it turns out how I want, if I could just for 1 second be like, oh, okay,
you had me there. You
nice try. Like, you know, I certainly appreciate that aspect of storytelling. And a lot of people, I think, on the outside looking in, they don't watch even the things that they do consume, even just regular entertainment, with that in mind of what the creator is trying to elicit out of you. So they look at wrestling, but why you watch that? I'm like, bro, they are fucking with us, and it's fun. That's all it is. They just manipulating us, and you know, if you could watch it from that perspective, it is highly entertaining. You know, and the best people who are good at that, they're the ones that keep you coming back and keep you watching. You know, so that's why you appreciate it. But the match next they have it is Charlotte versus Rhea. And mind you, this is night one, by the way. Like, wrestling is fucking vast. This is one night. This is its own pay-per-view, essentially.
Yeah.
Charlotte versus Rhea. I think Rhea goes over. I think she needs that moment. Charlotte has mad moments. Rhea needs a moment where she stands atop on a big stage, especially after initially losing to Charlotte. Although it was in the Performance Center, that's out of anyone's control. But I think it'll add a lot of gravitas to the Judgment Day. We're gonna get to this on the next card. I do think the Demon will win. So the Judgment Day coming out of Maine is gonna look crazy. I think Dom is gonna win.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like everybody would have won in the Judgment Day. So Monday Night Raw is gonna be man interesting, but I think Rhea goes over here.
And you need another strong heel faction. If the Bloodline is gonna take the L's, you need another heel faction to get W's to build them up.
And it'll be very believable. And people are legit, you know, which is all the reason why I think Dom has to win by like some type of chicanery.
Yeah.
Because Demon Balor and Rhea, they're gonna gut their shits out. I think they're gonna really gut them wins out. You're gonna have to respect them. You know, I think we mentioned this. So, well, yeah, we think Theory going over Cena. I think they're gonna have a fun match. I like Austin Theory. You know, the character could use tweaking. He's new, but I like him, and I think he's growing into this. You know, he needs this win to have legitimacy.
Because I think he had a fun character in NXT, but it was like sometimes when you play the dumb guy, it's hard to have people take you seriously after that. And I know they're trying so hard to like shed that when he was with Gargano and in NXT Indy. They're trying to shed that whole goofy image and present them as more serious. So this is the win that they hope cements that for him. Because I heard he cut a good promo.
He did a promo in the empty arena on Raw. But I don't mind his promos in general. I mean, they could work. He has his days, but he's pretty solid to me.
Yeah, but I feel like
he'll be expecting out of these. Like, yo, he's pretty good. He'll get better.
Like, that's his one weakness because he's great in the ring. He's an athlete, like all that. But once
I think he's easy to hate. I think he's really fun to hate. You know,
hang out with. He should be hanging out with Orton.
But we'll see. You know, the rumors he might
like mentoring him on that. All right, when I was in Evolution as a legend killer, and I was just young, smarmy, blah 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 blah. That's.
You know what? Also, that could be I would say that could also be a feud storyline, but it's like You don't want the belt off of Theory no time soon, so it might not work out that way. So it might go your way. How you bring it up, possibly.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get Orton back, man. I miss that dude. We'll see if we get a sighting. We moved on to top 10. We moved on to night 2, which I think looks like it has less matches, but makes sense because there was a Hell in a Cell match in the middle of the card. So got to give that time. So the first match here is the WrestleMania Showcase Tag Team Turmoil vibe with the ladies. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. This sort of looks like a hodgepodge of teams. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I believe Carmella got hurt or is ill. So our best to her, because she was supposed to team with Chelsea Green, and that was supposed to be more of a team that made sense.
Yeah.
So, shout out to her. Hope she's all good. Gets well soon. I think Ronda and Shayna probably win this match. They're the most defined tag team.
Yeah, they got history.
Ronda could use a win. They could bully everybody in this match. Except, Raquel Rodriguez is kind of tough. You know what I mean? But they could bully a lot of people in this match. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Ronda and Shayna Baszler.
I'm leaning that way too. This match is interesting because half the women are good wrestlers. Half of them aren't that great.
Yeah.
But they're more character wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know Ronda and Natalya back in the day used to go at each other on Twitter. So I wonder if there's some real...
Throw some potatoes in there?
Listen, because the way Ronda was talking about the videos, Natalya and her sister,
yeah.
That rabbit hole.
Natalya's sister is a hang, yo. Good name. She's a hang.
Their videos are weird. I'm not gonna lie.
They're a little sus. They're real close.
Sus.
They're real close. I
think it's like that on purpose because they're trying to attract a certain audience.
Yeah. They know
subscribers up. But I saw a video. She was like, they're giving each other the sharpshooter and like evening gowns. I'm like, all right, this is some. There's got to be some weird fetish shit. Like,
yo, man,
her sisters out there showing them
things. Some things are stinging.
I think Ronda and Shayna. I don't know what they're doing with Liv or Raquel, honestly.
Raquel and Liv. Who was Raquel teamed with before? It wasn't Liv, right? She was teamed with somebody during their like tag team tournament stuff, right? Was it Liv or no? It wasn't Liv.
I don't think so.
She was tagged with someone else, and they were like they were favorites. I think it was Aaliyah, maybe.
I think so. Then I think Aaliyah got injured, didn't she?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's Raquel is someone that they believe in. So we'll see.
I think Raquel works better as a heel.
Raquel?
Yeah, like when she was in NXT.
Yeah.
Her and Dakota Kai together, I think were a nice little team.
Okay. I'm not familiar with her heel work. I gotta look back at that.
Yeah, it was like Dakota Kai was like the little shit talker and Raquel was her muscle.
Okay. Makes sense. I think next match is the spectacle. Brock versus Omos. Kind of think Omos might go over here. That sounds crazy.
I don't know. Brock is very selective with who he chooses to put over and make look good.
Yeah, but he's been making him look good. He's been making him look good. And Omos has no wins at Mania yet.
Yeah, and Brock is one of those.
No, he does. He won with AJ Styles a couple years ago.
Oh, they were tag team champions, weren't they?
You know what? Maybe Brock goes over because Brock hasn't had success against Omos yet. So maybe that's when his success comes.
And the thing is, like, it's one thing to put Omos over. It's another thing for Brock to put him over at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that happens.
Omos goes over and it's like the best Omos match we've ever seen thus far. I think we're all right with it.
I mean, we ain't setting the bar that high. But
I'm just saying, like that might justify it. I don't
yeah,
know.
I feel like Brock is the type he can work with any style. I think Brock's hindrance is he locks into his own style now too often. Because when you watching his last few matches and then watching his like 2002, 2003 run, it's completely different. He's older, yes, but it's
Yeah, but
still
he was a wrestler in his first run. He's more like I'm a fighter in this run. And the thing is, he can wrestle. I would love to see a match like that again from him, just one time. He's like, yo,
just
front face locks, arm bars, shoulder blocks, elbow drops. Like that'll be fly. I guess I'm still waiting.
Flexes.
Yeah,
I think he's not as agile as he used to be, and I think part of it was the agility mixed with his size is what.
But back in the day, that was the appeal.
Yeah,
that could be.
And he's freakishly strong.
He's still that. He's still that.
Having F5 another shark for the SummerSlam promo this year.
Yo, low key, I will say this about SummerSlam. I like what they're doing with the branding recently. Like wherever city they're going to, they make the branding look like that city. So last year it looked like an old Western thing when they were in Nashville.
Yeah.
This year they're gonna be in Detroit where they had WrestleMania 23, and it looks more like a Motor City Ford logo. So shout out to them and their branding, because I do like that they have these new logos coming out instead of like the same old logo we had seen for years at a time.
Yeah.
It makes it feel more unique and more custom. I appreciate that.
Summerfest.
Yeah, that was funny. I just came across a list where they had listed that thing when they were talking about the Raw host era.
Yes, host, yeah.
And they brought that shit up. That's hilarious.
Jeremy Piven.
Summerfest.
Me and my friends never we still call it Summerfest.
That's horrible.
With each other to this day.
That's the risk you run when you let these outsiders in, man.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Hell in a Cell with Finn Balor, the Demon versus Edge, the current leader of the Judgment Day versus the former leader of the Judgment Day, and I think that helps put a cap on this chapter for Edge. So whoever he gets involved with afterwards will be interesting.
Yeah,
he probably take a nice break after this. I expect a brutal match, actually. I think Demon Balor wins. I think Demon Balor needs a win in general, because the last time we saw him was in the Performance Center or the Thunderdome, and he fell out the blue with Roman Reigns, and no one knows how the rope broke still.
Oh, listen.
Roman did it for The Rock or something like that, but the rope broke.
About that.
I don't know what happened to that rope, son. And then this dude started convulsing. They're not even trying to they don't revisit the stupidity that was.
It's like AEW with the death match and the fireworks not going.
God. That shit was jokes. Oh my God. Yo, save yourself. Save yourself. The Gilbert Sparks.
Oh man, but Demon definitely goes over. I think that'd be one of the matches of that night.
Let's hope Papa H let them get a little color, man. Let's get some color, Papa H. It's a little color. That'd be nice.
Yeah, Edge, I feel like Edge would.
We also have
no red cell.
I heard it's not. I heard they got the regular color back.
Good.
Yeah, I heard they got the regular color back. I seen that in some of the lead up. I've been seeing clips of the WrestleMania set, which looks like it's gonna be gargantuan, to steal a term from Peter Rosenberg and the Cheap Heat crew. Shout out to them. Gargantuan. It looks like the set is gonna be. So yeah, the next match here, I'm looking forward to this actually. In recent months, I've become a big Gunther fan. I love their commitment to their character. I love that they're just so serious and they're just like, bruh, what is this? You put me in a triple threat? Like, it's supposed to be man against man. And I love the whole shit. Like, hilarious to me.
Listen, that is I think that's our second or third match I'm looking forward to the most, because if there's one thing about me, I'm gonna be on that big meaty man slapping knee.
Yes. And them dudes is physical, man. Like they will really chop each other. They'll beat each other's ass.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I wasn't, to me, I really wanted like another showdown between Sheamus and Gunther, because that Clash of the Castle shit was beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially with them showing like Brett against Bulldog prior, and Brett was there. They just made it feel like it was a thing. And I'm like, this is what the game is missing, Papa H.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then they just had a great match. I'm like, yo, I want them to have another one-on-one, but I understand they want to get Drew on the card. And
yeah.
So I respect it. And I like Drew McIntyre, and I like his work. So, we'll see, what they do. I think Gunther goes over, though.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And I think maybe that could just spawn into, I guess, more of a McIntyre-Sheamus feud, or maybe they can just shake hands and say, hey, man, better man won. I don't know what they're going to get up with then.
No, but that's, I love, like, they're going to lay into each other.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
There's going to be some forearms to the face, chops to the chest, boots to the head. It's going to be.
And at some point in the match, you will. At some point in the match, you will get the Gunther Sheamus face off, and I think that will suffice like people like myself. I guess that's like, we want 1-on-1, But I think Gunther goes over. I think he continues this historic reign. Maybe he beats Honky Tonk's record. I'm with that. He's the right guy for it.
Yeah, and he's one of those dudes who WWE was smart enough to not change, because on the indies, his big aura was like, oh, this dude just lays into people, leaving handprints on people. You see the skin rippling on people's bodies when he chops them. And I'm glad they didn't veer too much from that.
Yeah, I can
when they brought him in. Because I know, like, sometimes with the indie wrestlers, they want to shed what made them popular and then mold them into what they want, but
nah, he's pretty much working the same type of way. I think his character work is
Walter.
Up. Yeah, and change his name.
Yeah,
but I'm all in on the Gunther thing now. And shout out to, I think shorty name is Samantha Irving. She's like the ring announcer. I think she's like engaged to Ricochet or something like that. She's a black young lady. In my opinion, the best ring announcer since Howard Finkel, who is the best of all fucking time. But when she be saying Gunther name, that should be sounding like this. It's like anything she says it's an event. When she called any wrestler name, it feel like an event. So I gotta shout her out. I'm looking forward to all her calls. I know there's another dude I think on Raw that does the calls, but no knock on him, man. I want Samantha to do everybody's shit on WrestleMania weekend. That's all I want to hear, Samantha announcing people all weekend long. Like, that's what the streets need, Papa H. Not that he'll hear this. If he does, great. You're in the right place. I think so. Then next match here is Bianca and Asuka. I think Bianca goes over, but I'm not mad if Asuka wins. Like, it'd be cool if Asuka wins, but I don't know. If they care about a streak for Bianca at WrestleMania, then I guess she won't. She'll win, and maybe she'll lose at the next show. But I'm
on the fence because I love Bianca.
She's great.
And Asuka, but I think Asuka needs
a moment.
Yeah,
because she didn't beat Charlotte that WrestleMania main event.
She lost to Charlotte twice, I believe. I think she was hurt last year, so she wasn't even on the show last year.
Right.
But she needs to win. She needs to win. Because if you want to keep her in that upper tier of the women, she has to have statement wins. She can't just be, she'll appear at the big one, but always lose. Nah, give her, especially, do you see the pop she got at the Rumble when she came back?
We missed her.
Let her get her right. Because she's older.
She can though.
Yeah, I think she's on the back 9 of her career.
Yeah, because she was older when she already had a career by the time she got to
NXT. Yeah, I think she might be in her mid 30s, late 30s. I think she's in her early 40s.
I think she's in her early 40s.
Yeah, she might be. But give her big moment.
The mist is coming out. That's all I know.
Yes. Yes.
Right. In matter of fact, I think she might tease it. I think she might act like she's gonna do it and let it drool, and then she's gonna bust it out for real, like later in the match. Like, so she's
And
gonna
that's the other thing. This is an incarnation of a character that she used in Japan, but
right.
she's only now using for the first time in WWE.
Yeah, so I don't know shit about
it. Yeah. So let her. I think it was Akane. I can't remember what the alter ego's name was, but
Akana or something like that. I think it was
yeah,
called.
something like that. So basically, like
Akana.
her being Finn Balor.
I also think maybe the ref might get misted, yo.
Hey man, ref bumps, old school. I still love them.
The ref might get misted, and then she get the KOD, and then no one can count, and then another ref come down, and then she kick out of it now, and Bianca can't believe it, and then she missed Bianca.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, 2 missed in the night. And then she wins like that. I think that's a good way to get Bianca to lose legitimately and be like, damn.
Especially on the weekend when the Great Mood is getting inducted.
Imagine if he got involved in that shit and he missed body. That would be some heel heat. That would be some heel heat.
She should have Muda come out with her.
That'd be
ooh.
And that would make your antennas go up. It's like, nah,
yes, it would.
If he comes out in a mask or his face painted, it's bad news, man. It's bad news for Bianca.
Oh yeah.
But I hope they have a bang up type of match, man. They definitely can do it. I don't think I've ever seen them really wrestle each other like that. So
yeah,
I'll enjoy the hell out of that.
No, they're gonna deliver. They're gonna deliver.
Obviously, while we're all here, the main event, Roman Reigns versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for this is the longest championship name in the world, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match.
They just call it the Unified.
Bro, I don't know. Their marketing is just they have their reasons.
Yeah,
hopefully we don't have to like deal with it much longer. But yeah, I think Cody Rhodes. It's the right time. I think it's the right time for Cody Rhodes to get it. Right time for a wrinkle to be put in this whole bloodline thing. I'm not mad if Roman wins. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But I think Cody goes over. That's my pick.
Cody has to go over. I feel like you've done everything you can at this point with Roman. Like you've exhausted every heel thing. I think he has to lose and then take a break.
Yeah.
Come back as a face.
That would depend on how this thing shakes out.
Yeah.
Total, like how the Usos react after losing. How does that play into the next night?
Yeah.
What type of stuff they got planned?
Like it should be. I think they all deserve a vacation, not a vacation, but they've basically been carrying the brunt
of the company
shows for 3 years now.
Almost 3 years. Yeah.
So they need a break, a little vacation. And I always believe when you've been on TV that long, you need time away from the fans. You don't want to be overexposed and oversaturated and like, because I will say at one point, like before the Sammy stuff, I was tuning out after he beat KO last year. Was it Street Fight? Or like after the last look, I was like, all right, there's really no one left for Roman to like. He beat Lashley. He beat Drew. He beat Brock finally. It's like, who else can it be? He hasn't faced Cody yet. Cody's fresh. Cody's back. 2 years ago, we never thought we would be seeing this match.
Hell no.
Like at one point, we thought Cody was a lifer with AEW and that he wasn't going anywhere. But
anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. That's what you're
So Cody needs it. It's good for wrestling overall because it's the first or second best story in all of wrestling coming to a beautiful conclusion. It continues Cody's whole my legacy is important because of my dad and I got to be a champion, this, that, and the third. And you need a fresh babyface champion. Like summer's about to start, you got the run going. You need a fresh babyface champion. Like we've had. Let's see, MJF and now Roman. Impact champion just had to drop the title because he got hurt.
Let's not forget about Tyrus.
I'm gonna forget about Tyrus. We all should forget about Tyrus. But I think wrestling right now needs a big baby face, especially with the type of heel MJF is and Roman is. Like they've been so like they have a gravitas around them as far as their heel work is. So we need a big baby face, cheesy American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
But people actually like him. Like, yeah, I'm bought into it too. I was telling one of my cousins earlier this week. I said I think his theme song is like the new Real American, and I think Real American is like mad corny now. I think it aged badly, in my opinion. I think that song has aged horribly. So I'm like, this shit sound like it could have been in Rocky. It sound like a montage, you know, getting and like it's fun to sing. You
it's
know?
funny because in like the AEW like message boards and shit, like the whole thing was making up your own lyrics to that song. Oh, and really? It's just doesn't matter what you say as long as it's something Cody Rhodes. Like it has to end like that. And then he needed the move. It was refreshing for him because he did not want to be heel. And that was a problem in AEW. Everyone wanted him to be heel. It wasn't that the fans didn't want to see him. They wanted him to be heel. And
that fan base.
Yeah, they wanted him to be heel. And I'm not going to be an ardent defender of wrestling fans in general, but in their defense, he kind of leaned into it with some of the things he was doing.
Yeah. He's kind of like
he was straddling for a while. Even like that last promo he cut, like
I don't have a contract right now.
So and then he also painted himself in the corner with that not allowing himself to ever challenge for the world title.
Yeah, that was such a marketing ploy. They could have got you. It's wrestling, though. They could have got out of that easily.
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up going back to AEW, then he can do it. It's like, oh, my contract's up. It's a new contract. Boom, 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 boom. And
he will never go back.
I think he would go back for one reason. Two reasons.
Another story to finish.
There's no bad blood between him and like the front office and him. I feel like what they were building to eventually, because here's the problem. The thing I love and hate about AEW is they do like long form storytelling, but sometimes it's too long and they lose the plot. I think they were eventually going to run back MJF versus Cody. Because in the beginning, MJF came in as Cody's, protege, best friend. MJF's first big feud was with Cody, the strap match beating. Like I remember the episode of Dynamite where he's lashing Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Like the arena, the arena was like bought into that shit. Like they were invested in that shit. They were invested in that.
AEW was mad fun. It really felt like WCW 2.0.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more younger and more refined.
Yeah. So I think that was eventually going to be a through line. So I think if he wanted to do anything, he would come back to do that feud. And to if he knew he was going to have a world title run. Because not ego-wise, but I feel like I don't think he needs it to cement his legacy as a wrestler. I feel like a personal legacy would be like, I helped start this company. I'd like to be one of the world champions.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a novelty.
Yeah.
But I feel like, bro, once you get a taste, once this dude wins this belt in front of whatever amount of thousand people is in SoFi, which is a huge ass building,
Yeah.
man, nothing's touching that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying AEW might be able to grow to a point where they could get to something like that, maybe, but we years away from that. I don't see it. It'll be cool, but like the novelty would be cool. I'm like, bro, when you get a taste of winning that belt on the biggest stage in the whole industry, which is still indisputable, hey man, I look forward. I absolutely look forward. I look forward to Mania this weekend. I look forward to doing more episodes of this show. You know, I don't know how often we're trying to come at you guys. I don't know if it's gonna be weekly or bi-weekly. We could figure that out.
There'll be a little more structured than this, inaugural episode. So
we'll work on some segment names and whatnot, but we wanted to get this out. It was important to get it out. They say it's better to get it done than get it perfect. That's what they say. So, but I think we did pretty damn good, y'all. I think we did all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
anyone
given all the technical difficulties we had to experience this week,
we'll learn.
Think we should. So we didn't really describe the type of fan, quote unquote, we are. Because one thing I want to do
we alluded to it, but yeah.
One thing I definitely want to do is make a clear distinction between the type of wrestling fan we claim to be. Like, we are not the majority of wrestling Twitter.
Oh yeah, we're not that.
Yeah, we're not harassing wrestlers, making personal attacks on wrestlers. Oh, I don't believe in like wars between companies, because the more wrestling there is,
the better.
The better for the industry itself.
I don't own cargo shorts.
No.
Not anymore, at least.
Not the neck beard shit, not the basement, not the everything.
My t-shirts are not oversized.
Yeah, and I don't want, and it's like, oh, you're just stereotyping wrestling fans. Bro, I've been to these shows. These dudes exist, and they're the overwhelming majority of people at those shows.
They make us look bad, man. Like, yeah. I get it.
We are more nuanced because we understand this business enough where we could form on our opinions based on facts and not feelings most of the time.
I think we also have other interests that helps.
Yes.
Like some people wrestling fight. Like I enjoy this thing like nobody's business, but like I enjoy some of these other things, So there is some objectivity in how we look at it.
I will miss wrestling to go to the club.
1000%. And I'll catch the SmackDown clips after. Like, gotta have a little life, man.
I'll DVR it.
Yeah, like that's without a doubt.
I just want to get that clear, because there's that.
But people will get people will get the idea.
Yeah. Once they get the idea.
They cool.
No hot takes for the sake of hot takes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If we give a hot take, we're gonna have reasoning behind it. There's gonna be an explanation, and not just because if something's chalked up to I just don't like this, I'll just say, you know what? I just don't like it.
Which is fair.
Yeah, which is very fair.
There's a ton of that.
But yeah, the one thing I really want to think is like the personal attacks that fans like, especially in nerd culture. So like all these niche subgenres, like wrestling is a niche subgenre of entertainment, like comic books, video games to an extent. Like they all have these subculture of fans who are very toxic because they think their passion for the subject gives them the permission to be toxic to the people. And No, no harassing people, no Twitter harassing. We stand against all of that.
Yeah, that shit corny.
Yeah,
There's no better way to explain that.
100%. I would have to make sure I got that out there. But as far as our philosophies and watching wrestling in general, yeah, I grew up on WWE basically from the middle end of the new generation on. Um, I've fallen out of love with WWE a couple of times.
That's understandable.
I went long spans without watching. So like there was the Reign of Terror. This is when the first brand split happened, and Triple H was like feuding with having terrible feuds with Scott Steiner and this, that, and the third. And
never lost.
Yeah, so I was
in retrospect, should have that was Scott Steiner wasn't up to par anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a period where that dude was not losing. I remember.
Yes, I was heavily invested into TNA, and I started into Ring of Honor and all these other indies. I would watch DVDs. Like I would go to the video store and like in the little $5 bins, and they'd have any indie wrestling DVD. Although I did get a couple of gems in there. I got Bret Hart's WWE documentary in a $5 bin once.
I miss those stores, man. They can't thrive no more. Them stores were clutch. It was super clutch.
But yeah, I'm well versed in indie stuff. Japan, not so much because it's hard to access that stuff, but I have info on that. So that's my opinion is formed of the more modern indie, but not to say that I don't long for the certain old school aspects of wrestling that I think are lost.
Yeah, I consider myself a stickler a little bit, but I don't let it take away from my joy what I'm seeing. I mean, like I said, I'm a WWF kid. That's how I grew up. Eventually got into WCW a little bit more as I got older. But I've been watching. My earliest memory is like probably since like '93. I want to say I've been watching, and then back then we had video stores. So like even if I was in '95, I would still go to video stores and rent old shows, and so I got a lot of history on what was happening before me from that and reading like PWI. So shout out Bill Apter and all them people.
Yeah.
I got a lot of game. That's how I learned about I'm like Lex Luger was a champion. I was like, what? You just learn these things. I'm like, I had no idea. I'll sit there in the barbershop sometimes and just like read these articles. And if I picked up something from King's Plaza, they used to have a newsstand in there. I used to get the magazines from up in there. And so that's where I got a lot of my stuff from. And there's just little things nuances that I think I wouldn't say they're lost. Because even MJF got some great heel tactics sometimes. I'm like, this is what we get him back. Like I love that stuff. Get him back before I get in this ring. Oh, like I love it. There's little things that I'm missing these days, and the people will come to know like what I'm a stickler for. We're gonna get into the thigh slapping and the false finishes, and we'll get into that in future episodes.
No thigh slapping.
Yeah, like let's cut that out, man. So yeah, but that's certainly where I come from. I'm very much on the mainstream side of things. I can give you all kinds of info on mainstream stuff. I got a lot of knowledge on anything damn near WWF, like damn near anything. And a lot of WCW, but I'm not versed in the indie world like that. I didn't know John Moxley till he showed up on AEW. I know the Ambrose. That's who I know. So like that's just sort of how I run with it. I heard names before. I remember, especially in PWI, I used to see like the ECW names. I'll see RVD and Sabu. Like I had knowledge of them people, but because Channel 14 would say ECW was on at 1 a.m., they would never be on when I turned to the channel. I never got to see them until they started invading. I'm like, oh, these are these people from PWI.
Oh, okay.
I
used to.
I never got to see it. So I mean,
Friday nights.
I had to like educate myself as time went on. But that's sort of my perspective where I come from with it. And also before we end, I just want to shout a couple shows, like there's people that certainly influenced my desire to want to get into podcasting again.
Definitely.
And so I definitely want to shout out definitely Cheap Pete. I listen to a lot, and they're heavily entertaining. Rosenberg and the fellas, it's that guy Greg. Shout out to them. Dipperstein, I don't want to forget his name either. Black Announce Table, which is I wish we thought of that name. That's a beautiful, perfect name.
Shout out to Chrissy. We briefly, Miss Suku, we briefly worked together, maybe for like a week or two.
I wish we thought of that name. They are geniuses.
No, they got it. They got it.
Jabba Tears. Shout out Jabba Tears. Shout out those wrestling girls. It's people I listen to. I like the Extra Cooler Show. Shout out to those guys. People I listen to. Who's that?
Public Enemies.
So shout out to
I think they have the best Twitter account as a podcast as well.
I need to follow that then.
Yeah, now Public Enemies is always, they always cross in the culture with wrestling. So yeah.
Shout out Storyline Tees also. I ordered some tees the other day. They got some cool shit. So I'm gonna get my wrestling tee game up. But
yes.
But this has been fun. I think I guess eventually we'll come up with an Instagram handle and shit.
Yeah.
We'll get more organized, but my name is Khalil. Y'all could definitely follow me on IG at Damn It Pops, DAMNITPOPS, or on Twitter at Damn Pops, DAMNPOPS. See my musings over there.
You can follow me on IG under Bohemian_Trapsody. So like the movie or the song Bohemian Rhapsody, it's with an underscore and a T in front of Rhapsody, and that's me. Twitter, I think I'm gonna
leave that alone.
Check my Twitter. I might have to clean that up a little bit, make sure before I start giving that out to people. Let me, But I think I'm gonna make one just for the show and just tweet through that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm with that.
Yeah, but then I'll eventually put my own Twitter on there, so that way you're not my thoughts are my own thoughts and not the thoughts of the show overall.
Right. It's all good, man. But I, appreciate y'all for listening. We're gonna come back with it one more time. I think this was a great, big, first mega episode. I think they got a good taste of who we are, and enjoy WrestleMania.
Yes, I will be watching. It's one of my favorite things about WrestleMania weekend is it's big in all of wrestling. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow, even this week, we had, Raw on Monday, NXT on Tuesday, Dynamite yesterday, Impact is tonight if you get Access TV. I think the ROH show streams tonight online as well. Yeah. Tomorrow is SmackDown.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view tomorrow.
Yeah.
AEW Rampage is on tomorrow as well.
Is Rampage live? Do you know? That'd be crazy if it was live.
I believe it's taped. Okay. It's taped, yeah. They usually go live on pay-per-view weekends or if they're in a huge city.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they're taped because the ROH pay-per-view is happening tonight. So they need.
Oh yeah, that's their brand. That's right.
Yeah, that's their brand too.
Their brand. Okay.
And Saturday, not only WrestleMania Night 1, but I think Stand and Deliver as well. And
in the afternoon. Yeah.
In the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then Night 2 on Sunday. And then Raw again on Monday. And I think it's WrestleCon this weekend. WrestleCon's every WrestleMania weekend, I believe. But every convention, every indie show is going to have a big show. So it's a huge wrestling weekend.
Everybody eats WrestleMania weekend.
Yes. Oh, Wale Mania's tonight, I believe.
Shout out Wale Mania too, man. I got to go when they had WrestleMania 35 out here, man. Kofi Mania weekend. This is a funny story. This is very random. I'll probably end on this, but I had to go use the bathroom. Booker T was in the bathroom when I was taking a piss. And I was like, yo, I would love to say hi to Booker T, but I don't think he'd really appreciate me bothering him during his piss.
Yeah, you're no brother.
I did get to speak to Queen Charmel briefly. like later on that night, she was walking around. She was really sweet, and endearing, man. So shout out to Wale Mania, Kaz, who I did see recently at a premiere for The Shop. Well, we sat next to each other, but I didn't want to bother. I didn't want to bother dude.
All the black journalists doing it in wrestling, except for that one guy.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but if you don't mess with him, then we don't mess with him for a reason. Say less.
You say his name. I ain't gonna say his name.
Fair enough. We won't.
Y'all know who he is.
But we want
y'all can speculate who it is. But
we want y'all to enjoy the weekend, man. We sure as hell will. We're gonna be tuned in. Hopefully, we probably get back to this hopefully next week and have a review, what the nights were and the whole deal. But you guys enjoy, be safe, happy wrestling.
Mania, baby.